Hey, Krista's Chalking Crew. My name is Krista Mahon. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, independent designer with Chalk Couture. Today we're going to ink a shirt with the Halloween phrases, Hey Pumpkin. This is a C-size transfer. It has multiple things, but we're only going to use one piece of this to ink our t-shirt. I took the ink mat. It is a sticky mat. I cut my 11 by 23 up so I could do onesies, t-shirts, bibs, etc. So this is sticky, and this helps keep the fabric in place and helps keep the wrinkles out while you're inking on it. So the Chalk Couture ink is permanent once it's heat set. Okay, so it can be washed after it's heat set. So you want to place this in the middle of the shirt or fabric, hand towel, pillow, whatever you're inking at the time. And we're just going to make sure it's nice and flat. All the wrinkles are out, and that's what helps the ink mat to keep the fabric down. And we're not going to fuzz this because we're actually putting it on fabric. I've already marked my front and my back and what this is, so once we wash these, we can reuse them. So once they're dry, we put them on the backer sheet and we can reuse them over and over. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and place this center. And we're going to make sure it's down with no bumps and bubbles. And how you can tell it's ink, it says right here, Chalkology ink, and then permanent. And it's always a white lid versus the paste being a black lid, washable. Okay, so you're always going to look for a white lid if you're doing fabric and want it to be permanent. So we're going to go ahead and stir with our stir stick. These are plastic. They are reusable. I just put them in the water bath and we clean them at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and stir all of mine up because we're going to be using all these colors. Okay, so this is the green. I'm always very careful. I open them off screen in case something drops on my project. So I always open them off screen. And you want to be obviously careful when you stir too, because it is ink and it is permanent. So all this is going to be is just for little trunk. And then we have the orange, which is called papaya. And the ink is a little bit more runnier than the paste. The paste is a little bit more thicker. The ink does take longer to dry. And we just want to be careful as we touch stuff to make sure it's not on our hands. We're going to go ahead and start with the black velvet first. So we're going to do Hey Pumpkin, and the other colors are going to go actually on the pumpkin. So we're just going to dip our squeegee and go ahead and start inking. I always start at the top, and I try to get on as thick as possible, and I try not to go over it too many times. I found that if you do that, sometimes it can like go underneath the transfer. So I just try to get it on as thick as possible and go over it only a few times. With paste, you can go over it multiple times, but with ink, I've just found it easier to put it on nice and thick the first time around. And with the Chalk Couture transfers, you can kind of see if you miss something. You can see if there's any lines, etc. So that's nice. I think we got all the black, so we're just gonna set that aside. I'm gonna go ahead and do the orange next. So this is the papaya ink. Just gonna dip it in. I'm gonna be very careful because I don't want to get it on where I'm gonna do the green and where I'm gonna do the trunk. Okay. Or I guess I should say stem. So I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna try to like go at an angle at the top, kind of make it look a little bit rounded. Okay. Just make sure it's nice and thick. Okay, next color we'll do is green. I'm using the multi-tool. So we're gonna dip the squeegee in the multi-tool. And we're just going to do our best to not get it in the orange and try to keep it away from where we're going to do the brown. I'm just going to get it on as thick as possible. like inking on white because you can see if you missed a spot. Makes it nice. I'm gonna try to have a clean cut too by the little stem here. And I'm gonna go this way. I got a little bit close there, so hopefully it didn't hit the brown. Okay. So I'm gonna get another multi-tool for the brown, which is bark. I'm just gonna dab it on here. I'm gonna try not to hit the green. Did you hear the word try, right? So I'm gonna get as close as I can. I got it on a little bit thick, that's fine. So I'm gonna use our new detail tool, which is a little more squeegee than even the multi-tool. Okay, and this helps hopefully get it into so it can butt up against the other colors. If you do touch the other color, just wipe the squeegee off if you think that you hit it, and then you can squeegee again. I want to make sure I wash my hands before I pull this off though. Okay, so we're gonna pull that off. I do wash my transfers right away. They do last longer, so they are reusable 8 to 12 times, and we can reuse them. So we want to make sure that we don't have ink on our hands. Oh, I got a little black. Hold on. We don't want to touch whatever we're inking with ink on our hands. So I always check my hands. Okay. So we're going to peel off nice and slow. Well, if I can grab it right. Okay, so you want to just hold it and then peel off nice and slow. So far it looks good. Oh yes, perfection. So we're gonna go ahead and wash that, and then I will show you how to heat set too in this video. So as soon as we get done washing this, to wash this, we just put it in the bath of water. I use aluminum pan, and I just use my fingertips to get the excess off. You can also use our board erasers. They come in a pack of 2 to help clean the transfer, or a Clorox or Lysol wipe. You do not want to use baby wipe, okay? So Lysol or Clorox. I know they're hard to come by. I think I'm down to my last 2. Alright, so once we clean that off, I will dry this a little bit before I heat set, just to make sure it's kind of set up before I heat set. Usually I let it sit overnight if I'm not pressing, so I like to do 24 hours before I heat set. But since I want to show everyone, we're going to do it right away. So our transfer is clean, and we always want to dry sticky side up. That's another reason why we mark the transfer with the Sharpie, because that's the sticky side. If that's showing, then you have it drying in the wrong spot. So you always want to do sticky side up to dry, so it doesn't stick to whatever you're drying. Okay, so we're gonna put all our tools in the bath of water here, so we just don't get them everywhere. Cover up our inks up here. Rather be safe than sorry. All right, we're gonna go ahead and blow dry this a little bit so we can take the ink mat out. We never want to heat set with the ink mat in because it will melt. Okay, so we're just gonna heat it up a little bit. That's good enough just to make sure it doesn't bleed through. That's another reason why we use the ink mat. My cricket's over there screaming at me. Hold on one second, I'm coming. Okay, so we'll take out the ink mat. We're gonna get the cricket. If you don't have a heat press, you can always use an iron. I have a heat press, I love mine. If you don't have one, like I said, you can always use an iron. okay? Let me see something here. Gotta move my cords around. Okay, so we want to do 350 for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna get my Cricut heat mat down. So if you don't have a heat press, you can always use an ironing board. You can use parchment paper. I use this Teflon paper personally. It's heat resistant, it's really thick, it's nice, reusable. I've had this since I've been chalking, which is about 1.5 years. So chalking and inking, so I just set that down on, you can, like I said, you can use parchment paper as well, whatever works for you. Okay, so I had the degrees set at 350. So here's our 350. We hit the little button, it starts counting down 30 seconds. And we're just going to go over our design for 30 seconds. I don't leave it in one spot, I just keep moving it around. If you need to pick it up and move it, surely can. And then we'll just count down for you. Then when it's done, we just remove it, put it back to its tray, and we're gonna pick up our paper, and voila. So it's heat set. Good thing about the Chalk Couture ink is that when it dries and it actually heat set, it is not like a stiff like a vinyl. So it's real soft. It's a little bit hot right now. So it's real soft and it just feels like a normal t-shirt that is not vinyl, or like it's like more like a silk screen that's not vinyl. So it's very soft. That's why I love it. And like I said, this can be washed after it's heat set. If you feel like you want to heat set it again, or it still feels a little sticky, you can do the process again. But that is our little Hey Pumpkin Halloween Phrases t-shirt. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.